Picture a young apprentice standing right at the threshold of a bustling food preparation shop. Getting ready to step behind that counter takes a whole lot more than just showing up eager to work. In this explainer, we're going to break down the highly structured art of professional hygiene. It's the exact step-by-step protocol that transforms someone from an everyday person into a trusted, professional guardian of public health. Let's dive in. So, the very first question we have to ask ourselves is, what does it actually take to be prepared? What is required to cross that threshold from the outside world and into the prep room? Well, it's definitely not just about slapping on an apron and getting to it. It is a complete physical and mental transition. There are strict, non-negotiable steps that separate the ordinary citizen from the prepared professional. And here is exactly why those rules matter. The absolute foundational rule of food safety introduces an invisible enemy. A massive number of microorganisms are transferred simply by the hands of the staff. Our young apprentice isn't fighting dragons here, he's fighting microbes. These are pathogens that you and I cannot even see, but which pose a huge direct threat to the community. So strict, unyielding hygiene is literally our first and most vital line of defense. But before we even get to the soap and water, there is a major legal hurdle: the health book. Think of this as the apprentice's passport. It's the mandatory proof certifying that a worker is completely free from any diseases that could possibly be transmitted through food. Without this document in hand, no way. Our apprentice cannot even step foot into the preparation area. As consumers, this is the ultimate gatekeeper, keeping us safe behind the scenes. Okay, so the paperwork is cleared. Now the physical preparation begins. Basically, suiting up and donning the armor. In the designated changing room, street clothes and coats are left entirely behind. The professional puts on a clean, light-colored, preferably white, apron. And why white, you might ask? Because it instantly shows dirt, demanding absolute cleanliness. All jewelry comes off, nails are kept super short, and hair is tied back. Oh, and if there's a cut, they have to use a waterproof, brightly colored bandage. Why bright? Well, so that if it ever accidentally falls off, it stands out instantly and doesn't just disappear into someone's food. It's all about dressing for success and absolutely for safety. Now, this brings us to a major mindset shift. Hand washing is not just some quick one-time chore you check off your list in the morning. Just think about the sheer volume of triggers. You have to wash before the shift, obviously, but also after using the toilet, after breaks, after touching raw meat or taking out the garbage, after coughing, and for sure after eating or smoking. It requires a constant, vigilant state of mind. Every single time tasks change, the hands are compromised, and the whole ritual has to start all over again. So how exactly is this core defense executed? Listen, it is not a quick splash of water and a wipe on the pants. It is a highly specific, sequential, 30-second physical technique that has to be practiced over and over until it becomes pure muscle memory. Let's walk through the exact steps of this professional ritual. Step 1 is setting the foundation. Hands must be wet with warm, running water. Not cold water, not standing water in a bowl. The feel of that warm, running water opens up the whole process, prepping the skin and making the soap we're about to use way more effective at lifting away those unseen threats. Next up is the application of a generous amount of disinfectant soap. And it turns out the lather is actually the active tool we need here. You need that really rich lather to break down the oils, physically lift the dirt, and trap the pathogens so they can eventually be completely removed from the skin. Now here is where the real work happens, and honestly, where a lot of beginners fail. Hands have to be aggressively rubbed together for a strict 20 seconds. But wait, it's not just the palms. They must extend this scrubbing action all the way up their forearms, right up to the elbows. Because in professional prep environments, your forearms are just as exposed to raw materials as your fingertips are. And speaking of fingertips, there is a highly specific tool required right here. The apprentice has to use a specialized small brush to thoroughly clean their nails. Even with the nails kept short, exactly as the rules dictate, those tiny hidden spaces beneath them are exactly where the invisible enemy loves to hide out. This brush targets that hidden danger head-on. After all that rigorous scrubbing and brushing, it's time to return to the warm, running water for a thorough rinse. And this isn't just about getting the soap off, right? You are washing away the lather, and with it, safely flushing all those trapped, unseen threats right down the drain, far, far away from any food preparation's surfaces. Finally, the ritual wraps up with drying, and there is a very strict rule here. You can only use a single-use paper towel or a warm air device. If you were to wipe your hands on a shared apron or a communal towel, you would instantly recontaminate those perfectly clean hands, completely ruining the last 30 seconds of hard work. So, if you take away just one thing from this explainer today, it should be this exact sequence. Wet with warm water, apply soap, rub all the way to the elbows for 20 seconds, brush those nails, rinse completely, and dry with a single-use towel. Boom. That is the absolute gold standard of professional defense. So, with your legal health book secured in your pocket, your spotless white armor donned, and your hands rigorously cleansed through the 30-second ritual, the final question is simply this. Are you ready to step up to the counter, protect your community from the invisible enemy, and confidently begin your shift?